How can you enhance your listening skills in English? In light of the issues raised in the preceding paragraph, here are some suggestions for improving your English listening comprehension. The textbooks aren't necessary, so you may put them down and relax. Pronunciation should be improved. Correcting your pronunciation should be your first priority. The best method to hear the noises is to perceive them correctly. That is correct. Let's imagine you hear the word environment and quickly identify it because of the correct phonics, emphasis, and intonation. For the sentence level, this rule applies. When the instructor only wants you to listen, look, and mimic each sound, such as /e//ae//t/ and the u sound, you may get weary of it. I know you're utterly drained of energy. You have ultimate control over how you learn. But, how? Having access to the internet has made our lives so much easier. Taking use of this new technology is a great idea. YouTube videos, news programs, and dozens of other media on the internet may be used to learn pronunciation. Simply pay attention to the way speakers move their lips and mouth while they're speaking, make mental notes, and then repeat this for weeks or months at a time until you detect a difference. 2. Listen all the time, in all places. Of course, if you want to enhance your listening skills, you need to practice listening often. Listen when you're working out, cleaning, having a shower, gardening, or traveling on a public transportation vehicle. A variety of listening options are available, including podcasts and audiobooks. Do not stop paying attention. Immerse yourself as much as possible in English listening. We call this kind of listening extensive or passive. It's possible to get at least 2 advantages out of this. It is via passive listening that you get more acquainted with the sounds, stress, and intonation of the language you are listening to. To put it another way, that's an ear training technique you just learned. Listening improves when your ears get used to the noises. Another benefit of listening for long periods of time is that your vocabulary grows constantly. The more you hear, the more words you pick up. It's easier to understand information if you're familiar with a larger number of vocabularies. Listening skills improve with more input. When you've found anything you're inspired by or interested in, start with that and work your way outward. Seeing it provides you a great deal of inspiration. If you want to improve your listening comprehension, you need also read a wide variety of information. For months, do this every day until it becomes a habit. It takes time for your ears to get used to learning a new language. Remind yourself of the saying, practice makes perfect. Watching English language films with subtitles is also a good idea. Yes, I love it. I'd like to think so. Watching movies may be pleasant, but only if you take the proper precautions. What's the point of going to the movies? When it comes to learning how to listen, there are many options. Which one do you favor, and why? Isn't it better to watch a movie than read a book? When you're interested in something, you devote a lot of time and energy to it. That's why you're able to pay attention more intently. Movies are based on real-world scenarios, thus the language used in movies is more true and relatable than textbook language. In movies, you may learn how to better understand what others are saying. Watching movies is a great way to learn vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. To make listening easier, they're presented in social settings where you're more likely to absorb information while also engaging in mental processes such as guesswork or anticipation. I'd want to make one point clear: viewing movies is a simple approach to improve your pronunciation. You may not be aware of it, yet you're gaining knowledge via indirect means. In hearing, pronunciation determines whether or not you can identify the sounds you hear. For hearing, you don't need to attend a pronunciation lesson. Keep doing what you're doing, and you'll see results. Why subtitled films? Reading and listening at the same time may also be beneficial since it integrates 2 senses, sight and sound. Comprehension may need more time if reading or listening alone rather than in tandem. The visual and oral cues will help you understand what you're seeing and hearing. As long as you don't miss anything, you don't have to halt or go back. The subtitles are intended to assist you in following along with the text. If you want to increase your listening comprehension, don't depend too much on the words in the film. It's okay if you're not a fan of movies. Try watching English language television. Beginners should enroll in child programs. Children's language is simpler and more visually appealing than that of adults. The listening process is greatly aided by picturing what you're hearing. You may improve your listening skills by watching some of the following. Family. This is the story of how I met your mother. To put it another way, practice your foreign language skills by conversing with others from other countries. Both of the aforementioned approaches are examples of passive listening. When you pay attention and act on what you learn, you are engaging in active listening. Conversation requires both listening and responding. Listening with engagement or actively participating in the conversation is considerably more entertaining than passively listening, and allowing the insiders take you to wherever they want you to go. When you speak and listen at the same time, you become a better listener. You've been taught to listen with a few mental exercises running in the background. It is possible to appraise the speaker, guess what he or she will say, analyze and synthesize the information provided while listening. Those are fantastic ways to improve your listening skills. As a rule, speaking and listening are inseparable. It is easier to hear a sound when you can express it verbally. That is always the case. Having a conversation with a native English speaker is ideal since you'll be able to study the language from the ground up. In addition, how do you cope with accents that you've never heard before? There is no doubt about that. You may improve your ear training by conversing with people from other nations. Listening becomes easier when you can identify different accents. 5. Use both English hearing and English reading. This is a kind of training that simultaneously improves two different abilities at the same time. Both methods of training are equally effective. Whether the hearing is brief and well known to you or lengthy and unfamiliar, you may listen, pause, then read again, shadowing. Movies or videos with subtitles might be used as one of the resources. However, this time, you'll need more dedicated preparation. Focus on the word or phrase level, not the social context, and you'll have a better understanding of the material. With the shadow method, everything will go as planned. When it comes to honing your pronunciation, this is a very effective method. Simply watch a scene or a 2-minute movie over and over again, following along with the actors and speakers until you are able to shadow them without halting. It's time to speak out now. The subtitles are no longer shown. Watch and shadow the actors/speakers, attempt to mimic their motions and facial expressions. Listening skills will increase as the student's pronunciation improves. This approach may be used in a variety of ways. After reading a book, you may listen to the audio version of that book. If you practice shadowing while listening, you will improve your listening skills over time. Asterisk 6. Become a better listener by concentrating on what you're saying. What is meant by deep listening in this context? The term listening attentively refers to the practice of re-listening to the same material again. The experience will be with you for the rest of your life. In the same way as habits are formed by repetition and habit, so should your usage of the English language. Repeated listening to the same material improves your ability to remember vocabulary, phrases, and structures. Re-listen to the material you've already listened to. You now listen to it many times a day, paying close attention each time. You'll be astonished at how far you've come as a listener. All of the words, phrases, and sentences will be instantly recognized by you. What a difference, eh? How can I know which materials are best for me, may also be on your thoughts. The answer is easy. The first rule is to choose something you like or at least have an interest in. Number 2, don't go overboard with the complexity. That's alright, as long as you grasp at least 70% to 80%.